Hello and welcome everybody to the weird and wonderful world of children, explained by scientists. It is brought to you by the Developmental and Educational Science Group at Goldsmith University and by Baby Brains, the bridge between parents and society. I am Dr. Silvia Dalvit and I am the scientific director at Baby Brains. And from Goldsmith today, we have Zehra Karedemir. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to be talking about singing and how that can improve the relationship between mother and child. And I think we are also excited about learning more about this. It's something that we do spontaneously sometimes we're very conscious about, self-conscious about. So yeah, we're really looking forward to hearing from you.
Okay, thank you very much for Sylvia having me today. That's right, I am a PhD student at Goldsmith Infant Lab. My PhD mainly investigates the effect of singing on infants, but today I will talk about how singing affect on mother and child relationship. Okay, thank you for the slide. Um, I can remove like this. Okay. Oh, okay. We know there are multiple different theories about where music evolved from, so why we have music in our lives. One theory suggests that we have music because it try and help to mother and infant communication. So it argues that music developed of something called madris. So, madris, also known as parentheses and infant-directed speech, as we adults naturally use madris when we interacting with young children, typically infants and toddlers. So this theory suggests singing can be like type of madris, which is a type of speaking directed towards infants. So it is characterized by exaggerated intonation, elevated pitch, slow repetition, and musical variations in vocal communication. So we see madris in every human cultures. It's universally recognizable and seems every human society. It suggests it developed as a means of communication, promoting communication between mother and children. It also fostering nurturing behavior during early development. So we know attachment. It is the important relationship in a person's life. It begins during pregnancy and continues as the child develops. So attachment defines emotional bond between caregiver and a child. It's developed and reflected through patterns of parent and child interaction according to the American Psychological Association definition. So we know from literature attachment takes time for baby to bond, maybe after baby is born, and is very important thing for baby to develop self and secure identity. So, research found that when mother is experience feeling anxiety or depression, it can affect their ability to communicate with their baby in loving manner. For example, their sound of voice might change when mother feels anxious or depressed. However, we know singing can be effective method for increasing mother and child bond and reducing mother's stress level and anxiety. But we know these studies from generally preterm infants and neonatal intensive care unit studies. So maybe the only study recently investigated the effect of maternal singing, mother and child relationship. Daisy Foncourt and Rosie Perkins from Royal College of Music, they found singing might change mother and infant relationship, but they examine their relationship in social context. But we know in social context we feel more close and intimate each other if we use singing. So therefore, incorporating singing into daily lives may be helpful for strategy for mothers when they feel emotional difficulty and wish to improve their bond with their child. So we know lullabies and play songs are two common types of songs. Parents usually use them for their infants. Lullabies are universally recognizable and seen in every human society, are used to soothe and relax babies to go to sleep, while we see play songs in more common Western society, parents use them to arouse and engage their child into play. In return, we know infants present some behavioral and physiological responses to singing. So they presented more outward attention to their caregivers when listening to play songs, and their attention moved inwards during lullabies. So, for more recent study, explore these infants' responses to type of songs, Sreli and colleagues, they investigated types of singing on mother and infant arousal. So they found mother and infant arousal levels decrease during lullabies, but arousal remain stable during play songs. So this research show us universality of lullabies, why we use soothing songs or maybe singing when we interact or calm our fussy babies. We know mothers' care and love are essential for children's social and emotional development. But singing can be powerful for mothers to strengthen their bond with their child. It's very easy and accessible for mother and child. So today I will talk to you about recent research I completed in my PhD. It's explore the effects of mother and infant singing on maternal affect and emotional closeness during singing and playing session at home environment. So it was an online study. I asked mothers to rate their emotional states and their intimacy to their child in home environment. After they completed these questionnaires, we video recorded mother and child interaction during when they sing together. After a week, we invite mothers the same study and we ask them to complete same questionnaires, but for this time, they participated in a playing session. So all this session, we video recorded their interaction. Our anticipations were mother and infant singing would increase mother's positive effect and decrease their negative effect when we comparing non-singing singing activity, which is involved verbal play. We encourage them to use more verbal play rather than using toys or talking to their child. Additionally, our anticipation mothers would feel more intimate to their child during singing session than non-singing session. To compare differences between two conditions, we calculated change scores between conditions pre and post rating of mother's affect. And we use Lookit online platform. It is a very popular platform in mothers in the United States. So majority of our samples are recruited from United States, but we have 2 participants from Europe and also United Kingdom. Our final sample, mothers of 32 infants and their infants age between 5 to 10 months old. So to assess mother's affect, we use positive and negative affect scale. In this scale, it consists of 2 subscales. One is positive affect. It contains 10 adjectives, 10 items that describes emotions and feelings. Such as like interested, excited, or enthusiastic. Just we ask the mothers rate how they felt on the testing day before recording session and after recording session. And as you see on the right, it is this negative affect scale. It contains exactly the same numbers of adjectives, describes negative emotions such as irritable, afraid, or alert, something like that. So higher score in positive affect say us a mother feel more positive affect during the session, or lowest scores in negative affect scale indicates mothers feel negative affect during the session. So to measure mother's intimacy to their child, we use inclusion of other in self survey. In this survey, it contains only one picture with 7 different pairs of circles. Each circle represents a relationship between mother self and her baby. As you see here, just 2 separate circles indicates a disconnection between mother and child, and here overlapping circle represents a very close, intimate relationship between mother and child. So they score their intimacy from 1 to 7. Higher scores indicates higher intimacy to the child. So study has 2 parts. In the first part, we ask to it is the pretest part, and we ask the parents to fill out the questionnaire as I mentioned before. After they completed the pretest phase, they move to mother and child video recording session. We ask them sing or play with their child, because we want to see mother's preference, which activity they want to go first with their child. When they completed a 5 minutes video recording session, they fill out the same questionnaires they completed in the beginning. So a week after, I invited them to participate in the study. The only differences between 2 sessions, mothers swap the activity from first part. For example, if they did play together in the first part, in the second part they should sing together. But the rest of the study, the rest of the procedure is the same. So here are the results. The study found no significant differences in positive affect response in mothers between singing and non-singing condition. And similarly, the study did not found any significant differences in negative response of mothers between singing and non-singing activity. So the impact of maternal singing or on emotional closeness. So due to non-normality of the data, we ran a Wilcoxon sign test. So results showed no significant differences in maternal emotional closeness score. So our results unfortunately indicates mother and infant singing did not have observable effects on mother's affect and emotional closeness. So every study has its own limitations. So in our study, we use self-reported data. So it might be more subjective and also biased. Maybe it doesn't affect the true feelings at that point. And also, we focus on just 5 minutes effect of singing, but we know singing singing might affect immediately maybe mood in which is not in this case, or physical sensations, but other benefits of singing on cognitive functions or social bonding maybe take longer time to develop, or maybe need more practice or engagement. So right now, currently, I am working on the same studies, but this time I am measuring mother and infant diets through video recordings from previous research to better understand the effect of singing. So as you see here, this is I manually code their interaction during singing and playing session, and I caught their attention, physical and vocal engagement, and also facial expression during singing. After that, I'll compare their differences between pairs. Unfortunately, I didn't finish the results, so I can't present today. Although these non-significant findings of our research, but we know singing has wide range of benefits for mothers and infants. So singing can create nurturing environments. So singing lullabies or other soothing songs can help babies, can help calm your fuzzy baby and create a sense of security, so which can help both mother and child feel more comfortable and content in home environment. So singing easy way to communicate with your child. So we know acoustic and perceptual characteristic of infant-directed songs capture infants' attention. So it can facilitate maybe more meaningful interaction between child and parents. And also singing can help mother and child express their emotions in safe and healthy way. So maybe create more emotional connection between mother and child. And finally, singing can build a bond between mother and infant, and enabling them to feel close, and they maybe feel emotionally attached. But maybe we need more longitudinal studies to understand the effect of singing on typically developed children. So in summary, singing is powerful tool for enhancing the emotional and social development of children, and strengthen the mother and child relationship. Whether you are a parent, caregiver, or a teacher, you can incorporate singing into your daily practice with children. So you wish to sing with your child more but don't know where to start, just try to use routine songs when carrying out your daily activities with your child. Try to be imaginative and creative. You can use individualized songs, or you can sing without lyrics, just using humming with your child. If you have any other children, maybe you can invite them to join you, and you can create singing activities with your children. And also, I found a blog. It suggests useful activities with parent and children. They can use them by themselves. And Also, if you live in London, especially in central London, some places run regular musical activities and workshop for families at weekends, like Royal Opera House, South Bank Centre, and Royal Albert Hall. They just charge small admission fees, but you can join these activities if you'd like to sing in social group. And also, if you live Sadek or Greenwich, I live in Sadek, our council, our libraries run a beautiful music workshop for children under 5. You can join these sessions. They are very fun. I just observed one of them, and it was very useful. They invite real musicians, and children participate during singing session. And when I conclude my presentation, I just want to thank the all babies and parents who participated in our research. We appreciate their help. And thank you for your attention and for inviting me this session.
Thank you so much, Sarah. This was a really, really interesting talk, and the topic is fantastic. It's cool because we have an app that will be coming out very soon, and we have included loads of singing.
Perfect.
And now we know why. It's interesting because when we ask the parents that follow you, it's something that parents that follow us. I mean, on the social media, it's quite something that parents seems to do quite naturally, spontaneously. For example, we've asked how often do people sing to their babies, and 50% of the people said 30 minutes a day. So it's quite a bit. There was a 30% that said even more than 1 hour a day, and only 20% 5 minutes a day or less. So it's something that parents kind of naturally seems to be enjoying doing. And what's really interesting as well is that parents, there were 40% of parents that said that they enjoyed singing a lot, but 67% of parents that said that their babies love it when they sing. So, the babies definitely are in for it. And maybe we feel a little bit self-conscious or whatever, but it really seems to be something that babies look to, and they really want to have more of that. So thank you so much for giving us a little bit of background of all the positive sides of singing for the relationship between mom and children. Now we would like to hear a little bit from you and understand why you came to studying singing and babies at Goldsmith. What's your personal journey that brought you there?
Yeah, it's my personal journey. As a developmental psychologist, my first curiosity to child development began to explore cognitive and social development in children. So when I did my master's, my dissertation focused on maternal speech, the effect of maternal speech to children social cognition, like perspective taking abilities to children to understand other feelings. So during this research, I realized if mothers use mental words or feeling or emotions, their children feel more advanced to understand others' emotion. So I thought maybe I worked with preschool children during my master's, but I thought maybe our social interaction begin much earlier than maybe preschool years. So when I did some research, I found maybe bonding is our first social relationship with the world. We just use our mothers to understand the world. So I use bonding my beginning concept, but I need to compare a speech with something similar effects, or I can compare the differences. When I found in the literature, language and music have some similarities. They use sounds to communicate, and in infancy, infants only attract to sounds regardless what you tell them. So in my PhD, I started to explore infants' behavioral responses to music, particularly focus on emotions and familiarity of language. So this is my singing journey started.
It's really exciting. It's something that we observe a lot, also in our community of trainers. That we have many psychotherapists, for example, that start maybe helping adults or helping children, and then we all move back and back and back, and it seems to all starts really at the very beginning in the relationship between the mom and the baby, even in the womb, I guess.
Yeah,
Um, there are some groups that do singing during pregnancy, and apparently there are really great effects of that practice
yeah.
too. So
Can I ask you something? You told me you asked the parents about their singing preferences. Did you ask them what type of songs they sing
we have
regularly?
we haven't asked yet, but we can do so in the future. And people who are listening now can comment if they want. So please don't hesitate if you're listening now to comment in and say which kind of songs you sing to your little ones. In my case, for example, if I can share like a personal story, I have 4 children. So it's interesting because with my child number one, I tend to sing I tended to like when he was little, I would sing the songs that my mom sang to me. So very traditional Italian because I'm from Italy. So Italian songs. And then as you know, as I had more and more children and as I grew more and more up, I now tend to sing new songs, like songs from the countries we are in. So we were in the UK first, now we're in France. So I tend to integrate bits of the local music, and then more and more also just music that I like, that I
Okay.
want to share with them. So at the beginning was really like traditional nursery rhymes that I heard, and then I kind of diversified a little bit. I don't know if it's any representative of the population.
It's very nice to see your journey. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I know. Thank you for the question. Um, Yes, there is one thing like we at Baby Brains we have workshops and we love singing. And so at the beginning and at the end of each workshop we have a little song. We have the Baby Brains song that you can look up on YouTube if you want.
Okay, yeah.
And it's a great way to attract the attention of children and adults alike. But there is always that 1 or 2 months that feel a little bit awkward, that feel a little bit like, ooh, so, what should we? What should someone do if they don't naturally enjoy singing? Is it something that's worth working on so that you
Okay.
can try the benefits, or is it something okay? Maybe we can concentrate on something else. What do you think?
Um, you say in social context. If I answer this question in social context, maybe mother remember everyone feel nervous in social group, even in singing group. So maybe we have similar feelings at that moment. But I know from singing group when I observe one, and usually I don't know, probably you know much better, they use some rhythmic instruments like drums or xylophone or like tambourine.
Mm.
Maybe if they feel some self-conscious about their singing, maybe they can use some rhythmic instrument when they sing. It might be maybe comfortable for them.
Oh, that's a great idea. So use something that makes noise. If you only have spoons, then use the spoons and kind of do some drumming. And it's really true. Sometimes it's really difficult to break the silence, right? To only
Yeah,
hear your voice. So it's
yeah,
good if there is some background noise there going on.
yeah.
And yeah, well, we really love to hear about singing and the relationship of between moms and babies, because this is really what we care about at Baby Brains. It's actually the very center of everything we do. So, singing is a great idea. I guess we saw playing also seem to be a
Yeah.
good way of supporting this relationship. Are there any other tools that come to mind or that you have come across during your research that we could suggest to parents?
In my research, I can say maybe making eye contact. It might be very effective with your child, especially for bonding, because probably babies love faces. So when parents look into a child eyes, they feel more secure and safe, so they can use eye contact. But when I do some research about my participant recruitment around Greenwich, I found baby massage groups. So it's very interesting. Definitely, I'd like to do some research about massage, because when you massage your baby, you have a physical connection and you relax your baby's muscles. So maybe they can use massage to their babies. And also, we know from literature the most effective communication between mother and child, skin to skin contact. Maybe place your child on the shoulder or between your chest. Babies feel very secure when they close to their caregivers.
Thank you so much, Zara. And it's great that we can hear that from a developmental psychologist, because these are practices that come quite natural, right? Cuddling
Yes.
your baby, looking at the baby in the eye, spending lots of time with them, touching them. And it's funny because sometimes it happens that in our kind of bit rushed society, we almost feel guilty of that time that we spend doing these things. We feel that we cannot afford to do that because we have these errands to run and this washing machine to set on and etc etc. But hearing it from scientists, it really helps us put those things, those pleasurable things, back up on the top of the priorities, because this is how we support our children's development. And so the fact that they are pleasant doesn't mean that we shouldn't do them. On the contrary, it's a trick of nature to make sure we do it a lot. So we can really kind of surf the waves with that and go with it, and the more the better, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And also, I wanted to say thanks to parents. I appreciate their contribution, because without their contribution, I can't run these studies. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so really, yes, thank you to everyone who participates in the studies at Goldsmith and everywhere in the world. It's
Yeah,
really,
exactly. Yeah.
and if you are listening today and you want to participate, get in touch. And wherever you are in the world, I'm sure we have friends in a baby lab there that are looking exactly for you. So, Zara, we're coming to the end of our conversation. If you had to kind of sum it up in just one sentence, what are the things that really every single parent on the planet needs to know? What would that be?
As a singing researcher, maybe I can say to parents, nurture your child with singing, because your child loves the sound of your voice, regardless of your professionality. Just try to be expressive, because infants are sophisticated listeners, so they can grasp the intention behind a communication.
Yeah. So we should give it our all, and who cares if we are not in tune?
Absolutely. Yes, you did. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's great.
That's fantastic. Yeah, our children are, as you say, very sophisticated audience, but also a very well-meaning audience. If
Oh,
we put
really?
our soul in there, they're gonna be super happy, right?
Yeah, they are. They are
So,
always happy. Yeah.
that's wonderful. Zara, thank you so much. We wish you a wonderful rest of the week, and we hope to have you back maybe one day.
Thank you very much, Sylvia, for having me, and it's pleasure to meet you.
Thank you very much. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.